After 3 tough but rewarding days on Jura, where seals and stags were my main companions, it was time for the next leg of my Scottish adventure. I was getting used to ferries, and it was time to take yet another one. My destination this time being the funny named Fishnish port on the Isle of Mull. As you can see, I certainly know how to choose a good parking bay. An island of dramatic beauty, and I was right next to a bin. Anyway, let's move on from that. The sky was threatening rain, and in good Scottish style, the heavens began to open as I walked the wrong way down the main road before venturing into a stunning glen. I was looking forward to this one. Well, hello adventurers, and welcome to the video. Look at that view. Not bad, eh? Welcome to Mull. So excited to be here. My Scottish adventure continues, and yeah, this is island number 2. I came from Jura, which was an amazing trip, but brutally hard. And in fact, I've just spent the last day over in Oban, letting the feet recover. They've just about done so yeah, off for this actually seems so easy in comparison. Got a nice clear track all the way to my first accommodation for the night, which is going to be a bothy. Yeah, you know me, got to escape the crowds and get some bothy bagging in. Looking forward to this one. But it's August and it's a Friday, so who knows whether I'm going to have it all to myself. Anyway, let's crack on. I tell you, it was a real treat having that track to walk on, but there was a roadblock up ahead in the form of Highland cattle. More about them later, but yeah, I didn't fancy taking any chances, so ended up heading cross country to sort of keep them happy, and yeah, thankfully it worked. After an hour or so, the bothy came into view. It was a bit of a slog uphill near the end, but I was filled with that usual mix of excitement and nervousness. Would anyone be at home? What would they, or indeed my home for the night, actually be like? There was, of course, only one way to find out. Well, here we go. Made it to the bothy. And so far, other than a flock of sheep up there, keeping the grass in good fine order, there is no one else here for the time being. How long that's going to last, though, there's just no way of knowing. That is the nature of this bothy and lark. You know, you never know who's going to arrive, how many people will arrive, and when. But let's make the most of it for now. Right, now, being honest, I have no idea how to pronounce the name of this bothy. I think this is Gaelic, and yeah, I wouldn't know where to start. I'll try my best. I would say Tomsleibhe, but if you've got more of an idea than I do, feel free to drop a comment below and correct me. That'd be much appreciated. I will say this bothy is a typical button bend building, which for those of you who don't know, that's basically where you've got 2 rooms either side of the building, and then sort of like this sort of communal space in the middle. So this is the room that I'm not going to take for now. Here it is. Got a nice sleeping space there. Nice little library and a nice open fire as well. The walls maybe need redoing, but other than that, yeah, it's not in bad nick at all. In the middle, quite like this. I've not seen many bothies with this. They've turned this into another little room. So, you know, like me, I'm travelling solo, and if some large parties do arrive later, you know, I can always retreat here, kind of leave them to it and have a bit of peace and quiet. So that's quite nice. A couple of candles as well. Thanks to whoever left those. And this is the room that I've bagged. I figured it was probably my favourite of the 3, just because I like the fireplace. And I've got a couple of fire logs, so we'll get that going later. Bothy TV is what it's known as. I'll just sit and enjoy that with a nice bit of whiskey and some food. And who knows, maybe some company as well. But I've got a great book to enjoy if no one else arrives. And there's my sleeping quarters for the night. Right, bothies like this, they just force you to sit, kick back, sit and relax. So that is exactly what I'm going to do while the weather takes a turn for the worse out there. So I've just polished off a vegetable curry, washed down with a wee drum of whiskey. I went down really, really well indeed. Yeah, I've just come out to go to the loo, and look what I've discovered. I've got some new, well, these must be the locals. Friday night, they're obviously having dinner, and then who knows where they're going to go on to after that. Let's zoom in, give you a better look. Look at them. I don't think they're the same crew from sort of further down the hill. I think this is a different lot. Can't tell whether that's their 2nd or 3rd course, but they all look pretty happy, don't they? Right, I can stand out here and watch them all leaving, but I've come out to go to the loo and there's been a break in the weather, so let's make the most of that while I can and get back in. tell you, this show on Bothy TV, I give it 5 stars. Absolutely loving it. You know, I've stayed in so many Bothys now, and I'll never get bored of just sitting and watching the flames. It's almost hypnotising. And yeah, I'll be honest actually, I mean, it's about 9:45, it's just getting dark now, and yeah, I've kind of accepted no one's going to turn up. I'm surprised for being honest, you know, being a Friday in August, you know, on such a touristy island, you know, I was expected to have at least a couple other visitors, but yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I was actually quite looking forward to having a bit of company as well, but it doesn't matter, you know, I'm still enjoying the evening, hopefully I'll sleep well as well. But I did have to have a bit of a talk myself actually a little while back. I mean, I should be honest by now, but yeah, I was just sitting there and hearing the wind sort of howling around the building. It is a little bit spooky, you know, because I'm about 3 miles from the nearest house. I mean, it's an easy track back, but you know, I'm still very, very remote. And you know, your mind starts playing tricks on you, but it is silly because there's absolutely nothing to worry about. You know, reading all the comments in the Bothy book, you know, from all of the previous guests, I've just been sitting here enjoying this. And yeah, they've all spoke really highly of the place. And you know, let's be honest, you know, we're far more at risk probably being at home, you know, living in towns and cities than being out here. Anyway, I think the plan now, I've got a little bit more whiskey to polish off. I'm going to do that, and then, yeah, in about half an hour or so, I'll get my head down, try and get a bit of sleep. So unless anything eventful happens, I'm sure it won't, but if nothing happens, I'll see you in the morning. Night night. Well, good morning, folks. And look, I decided to put the TV on again, which, with the conditions as they are, it's hard not to do. It's properly grim out there, and it has been pretty much all through the night. You know, it was really relaxing though, hearing the rain sort of against the window and the roof, the wind howling, yeah, and just the peace and quiet. It just meant I got a really good sleep. I must have slept for about 9 solid hours, which is one of the best sleeps I've had in ages. So if you're somebody watching this, you know, maybe worried about going to Bothy as a group, or especially if you're travelling solo, you know, you've got no reason to be. You know, you're likely to get a cracking sleep, especially, you know, if you get the place to yourself. Anyway, the plan is to hang around for the next hour or so, have a bit of breakfast, see if the clouds lift a bit. And yeah, I think we need to go fill up some water, get some water from the burn. So let's go and see just sort of what state it's in. Yep, I learned pretty quickly that nature is in charge of things up in these parts. There was no way I could ford the burn as planned, but still I headed skywards, hoping to reach the highest summit in front of me. The going was pretty tough, and hours of rain overnight was literally running off the mountainside. I had to stop at the lowest summit. As you can see, the wind was brutally strong, but I loved it. The view was still awesome in all directions as well, so let's cue the dramatic music and the 360 turn. By the time I got back to the Bothy, I couldn't believe how much the torrent had eased, and of course the sun came out. Typical. I was soon on my way back to the car, and those locals from the previous night were there to wish me well. I'd need it at the next turn. And so here it is. Yeah, it's deeper than last night, but yeah, I reckon it would have been a lot worse than this morning if I'd have tried to cross. So yeah, it's not too bad. I've got my walking pole. Yeah, I'm not going to film it. I'm going to concentrate where I'm putting my feet, make sure I stay upright. Yep, with dry feet, having survived that ford crossing, I got back to the car and started the drive to the other side of Mull. As you can see, what a drive it was. The scenery blew me away. It was way more dramatic than I was expecting. Lochs, waterfalls, and craggy mountains, Mull has them all. After arriving on Iona, I made my way through the sleepy village, admiring the neatness of the houses and gardens. It was already incredibly peaceful. The Carlos Lane North then took me past detached houses with views to die for. I just loved to be here during a winter storm. Onwards I went, and it was a bit disappointing, to be honest, to see this sign encouraging the use of a campsite rather than wild camping. I didn't let it bother me though, for I could see something truly stunning ahead. Look at that view. Amazing, isn't it? And yeah, it's been a long old journey to get here, but it is worth it just for this. Welcome to Iona. For those of you who don't know, this is the spiritual centre of Scotland, many say. And yeah, it is where Christianity first arrived in Scotland. And I've only been here about half an hour, but already it's just so peaceful and incredibly scenic as well. I'm in two minds. Obviously, my plan tonight, I mean, I'd love to be able to camp down here. I mean, what a cracking spot. It would definitely be up there as being one of the best camp spots I've ever been. But yeah, seeing that sign earlier made me think otherwise, but I'm going to take a bit of a walk along the coast. You know, it's only 6:30, so I can see if I can find somewhere fairly private, see how many people I see. If I don't see anybody, then I'll probably pitch up, but otherwise I'll head back towards the campsite. So yeah, the northern coast is absolutely stunning. There's no one around, just a few cows. But I've decided not to camp because it's be an absolutely cracking spot. Wide beaches, the sound of the waves. But there's something about it, you know, seeing that sign, I just don't think I'd be able to truly relax. And that's the whole point of being here, that you actually kick back and you do relax. Yeah, and what I don't want, I have heard stories of people being, you know, locals coming along and really not being very happy about people wild camping when there's a campsite, you know, not too far away. So I think it's been a long time since I've been on a campsite. I think that's the plan. There is a vacancy apparently. So yeah, we'll head that way. It's not too far a walk. And of course, the bonus is there'll be somewhere to shower and go to the loo if I need it as well. Yeah, and it's only about, I think it's somewhere between 10 and 20 quid for the night, so next to nothing. So yeah, it didn't take long to settle in at Iona campsite. And what a great campsite it was. I was really pleasantly surprised. You know, the owner of the site sort of met me at the gate. £10 I paid in cash, which I thought was a real bargain. And yeah, found a really good spot to pitch the tent. So there was a good bunch of people there. There was a woman there with her two daughters. There was a nice young couple that had been there for 3 days before already. And yeah, we had a bit of a chat away while I had some dinner. And it was just nice to have a bit of company, you know, after being out in the wild for sort of several days beforehand. And yeah, you can see the facilities are really good as well, you know, with, you know, hot shower, toilet, and like a really well-equipped kitchen as well. So yeah, highly recommended. Well, I came down for sunset. There isn't one, as you can see. Way too much cloud up there, coming in from the Atlantic. But again, look at this. I mean, I've wandered down from that amazing campsite, and it's a brilliant campsite. I'm so pleased that I came down actually and stayed there. You know, there's some nice people there that I've been chatting to. Really nice facilities, and yeah, for 10 quid a night, you know, you can't go wrong. Look at this beach. It's literally sort of 10 minutes walk from where I'm pitched, and it's absolutely stunning. No one around. What I find absolutely amazing, I looked at it on a map. Behind me there is the full force of the Atlantic. I can see some rain actually coming in, so I'm going to race back to the campsite in a minute. But what I find amazing is, yeah, next stop from here, if you head west, is a spot just north of Newfoundland. I don't know if it's just me, but I find the scale of the oceans just absolutely amazing. I mean, God knows how many thousands of miles that is. Anyway, let's get back. Let's get some shelter before I get absolutely soaked. And I shall see you in the morning. I'm sure it's going to be a brilliant night's sleep tonight coming up. Can't wait. See you tomorrow. Well, made a later start to the day than I normally would do. It's about 11:15. Yeah, we're just left the campsite. I should have left all the gear behind just to dry out. That's been the story really. Chatting to some of the other sort of campers, and yeah, it's just a lot of us have got soaked all through the night, on and off, it was piddling down. And And yeah, I'm making the most out of the break in the weather. You can probably already make out the grey slate sky behind me. That is the next weather system coming in from the Atlantic. And it looks like it's always going to rain all afternoon. I strolled down to the village and enjoyed exploring the old remains of the nunnery before going to church for the first time in ages. There's certainly no better place to do it than Iona. It was still dry when I walked back via another beach to collect my gear. Rain soon set in though for the rest of the journey back, but the colourful buildings of Tobermory certainly helped cheer the day up. It might have only have a population of 1,000, but the town felt like a metropolis after the tranquility of the trip. Before long, I was on another ferry heading back towards the mainland, the clouds making it all seem rather mystical. This adventure had only been 2 nights long, but it felt longer. Even with the mixed weather, it was still a great trip. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching. Happy adventuring.